Most people don't understand how deeply they've been trained to reply instantly. A message arrives, and notification flashes, and suddenly their heart twitches with urgency. Reply now. It's not communication anymore. It's compulsion, a silent fear that if they don't respond immediately, they'll disappoint someone, lose someone, or appear careless. Instant replies become a way of proving their worth, their availability, their loyalty, and without realizing it, they hand over control of their emotional rhythm. But true power begins when you learn to pause. Not replying in real time is not avoidance. It's emotional mastery. It's the decision to not let someone else's timing dictate your stability. When you stop reacting instantly, you start responding consciously. Your words become deliberate instead of impulsive. Communication becomes thoughtful instead of panicked. This is where emotional maturity grows in the gap between a message received and a message sent. Instant replies often come from inner anxiety, not affection. People fear silence because silence exposes truth. It shows who is calm and who is insecure, who respects space, and who relies on constant reassurance. But the moment you break the pattern of instant answering, something inside you settles. You begin thinking before reacting, observing before speaking. You gain emotional independence. Every rushed reply you've ever sent carried tension. Many arguments, misunderstandings, and regrets are born from messages typed too fast, without clarity. The mind needs time to settle. If you replied a little later, the same situation would look different. That's the power of patience. Delaying your replies also reveals people's true nature. Some panic, some get offended, some assume the worst. A few understand. Those few are emotionally secure, keep them close. Others, their reactions show their dependence on your immediacy. Silence becomes a filter. The stable remain. The fragile expose themselves. Slow responses shift your relationship with communication. You stop being available on command. You stop rushing into conversations that drain you. You learn to protect your energy. And in that stillness, you discover something rare: clarity. Not replying instantly isn't distance, it's discipline. The moment you stop replying instantly, your mind starts to breathe. You begin to notice how many conversations you were maintaining out of obligation, not desire. How often you said yes when you meant no. How often you apologized for things you didn't do. Quick replies trap you in emotional reflexes. Slow replies free you from them. In psychology, this is tied to response inhibition, the ability to interrupt your own automatic reactions. When you wait before responding, you override emotional impulses and activate logical thinking. This makes your communication sharper, calmer, and far more accurate. Not replying instantly gives you space to understand what you actually feel. Many people text out of frustration, hurt, excitement, or confusion, then regret it minutes later. But the pause allows emotions to settle. You look at the conversation with clearer eyes. That shift saves relationships and sometimes ends the ones that were never stable. There's also a concept called emotional latency, the time it takes for your inner state to level out after a trigger. People who reply instantly often speak from turbulence, not truth. But when you give yourself time, you respond from stability. You avoid unnecessary fights, misinterpretations, and emotional chaos. Slowing down also makes you more self-aware. You notice when you're replying out of boredom, fear, loneliness, or compulsion. You notice when someone's message drains you. You begin asking, do I want this conversation? Does this person respect my pace? Is this exchange meaningful or just noise? The more you wait, the more intentional your communication becomes. Not replying instantly also teaches boundary management. People no longer assume they have unlimited access to you. They learn that your attention is earned, not demanded. This doesn't make you cold. It makes you centered. And slowly, a transformation happens. You stop fearing silence. You stop fearing disappointment. You stop fearing distance. You discover that peace is louder than constant conversation. The power of waiting is not about ignoring others. It's about respecting yourself first. When you stop replying instantly, people's reactions become revealing. Some become impatient. Some become overly curious. Some become insecure. Their response is never about the delay, it's about their attachment style. People with anxious attachment often panic when replies slow down. They assume something is wrong, or that they've done something wrong, even when nothing happened. They interpret silence as rejection, because they rely heavily on constant reassurance. Those with avoidant attachment may not care about the silence, but they'll keep their own distance. They see delayed replies as a reminder that relationships are unreliable, so they detach further. And then there are securely attached people, the rare ones. They don't panic. They don't jump to conclusions. They don't take delayed replies personally. They respect pace. They know life doesn't revolve around messaging. They trust the bond, not the frequency. Your silence reveals more about others than their words ever will. By watching how someone reacts to a delayed reply, you understand how they operate emotionally. You see who needs control, who needs validation, who feels threatened, who trusts you, who respects you, who can handle space. Some people will accuse you of being distant. Some will think you're losing interest. Some will get irritated. But the ones meant to stay will stay regardless of timing. Silence forces people to show their inner wiring. You learn who is emotionally safe to communicate with and who is not. You learn who drains your energy and who respects your space. The world becomes clearer when you stop replying instantly. Instant replies scatter your mind. You jump from task to task, emotion to emotion, conversation to conversation. You lose focus, depth, and presence. Your brain becomes fragmented. Each notification pulls you away from yourself. When you stop replying instantly, your attention begins to return home. You realize how much energy constant communication takes. You stop participating in unnecessary drama. You stop explaining yourself endlessly. You stop becoming responsible for everyone else's emotions. The space created between messages becomes healing. It brings stillness. It brings control. It brings awareness. Psychologically, this is called cognitive unloading, reducing mental clutter by minimizing reactive conversations. Your mind becomes quieter. Your thoughts become clearer. You begin conserving energy instead of leaking it into constant texting. Slow replies also help you observe the quality of your connections. Some people only talk to fill silence. Some talk to escape themselves. Some talk out of habit. But the ones who value meaningful connections stay even when conversations slow down. With time, you find yourself replying only when necessary. Your words become more intentional. Your emotions become more stable. Your energy becomes more preserved. You start prioritizing yourself, not notifications. This shift changes your whole life. Your mental space expands. Peace grows. And suddenly, communication stops feeling like a performance. The final stage of not replying instantly is emotional mastery. You no longer fear silence. You no longer feel pressured. You no longer depend on constant messaging. You answer when your mind is ready, not when someone else demands it. This is where confidence develops. People begin to notice the difference. Your presence feels stronger because it isn't scattered. Your words carry more weight because they aren't rushed. Your pace becomes your signature. You become someone who communicates with intention, not impulse. Not replying instantly reshapes your identity. You become less reactive, more thoughtful, more grounded. You stop being controlled by urgency. You stop letting others dictate your availability. You stop letting emotions make decisions for you. Slow replies don't weaken relationships, they strengthen them. They build trust, patience, understanding. They make conversations more meaningful. They attract people who respect boundaries and emotional independence. Instant replies come from fear. Delayed replies come from strength. Intentional replies come from wisdom. The day you stop answering in real time is the day you take back your power.